Hello and welcome back to the Embracing Your Powers podcast. So for today's episode, I want to talk about how I was running my business all wrong and how you might be doing the exact same thing. And then I want to talk about how I'm running my business the right way now or doing things differently that better serves what it is that I want to do with my business. And one of the things that I was doing was running my business wrong by trying to do all of the right things. I was following everybody's advice and I thought that there was like one or two ways to run business. This is how you have to do these things and you can't really deviate off the path or do anything in your own way. I was watching how all these other creators were running their business and then I was taking that as fact, as hard, stone cold evidence that that is what I needed to do in order to be successful. And that could be the wrong thing to do because the truth is there is no right or wrong way to run a business. There is just things that work for different people. If you look at just YouTube alone and you search up how to write a blog post, you are going to be met with hundreds of ways to write a blog post. And my channel is included in on this. And which one of them is right? And the answer is all of them are right. Every single one of those is right because the way that you're going to write a blog post is going to be different than the way that I write a blog post. Everybody's way is right because it works differently for different people. So assuming that you have to follow what one creator says, and that is the only way to do it, or that is the right way to do things, then that might hinder your business in a way that you don't mean to because you're trying to do the right thing, but in the end, it could just be hurting you instead. Basically, the way that I run my business might not be the way that you run your business, and that is fine. The only wrong way to actually run your business is to not follow your heart, not trust your gut, and trying to force yourself to run your business in a way that does not serve you. So I used to run my business this way by listening to all of the advice, and I was too afraid to let go of all of that advice and trust myself that I could do this on my own without following everything else perfectly to a T. Now, is this to say that you should never follow the advice of people that are ahead of you? Absolutely not. There's a lot of valuable advice out there that you can listen to in order to start running your business a lot quicker. And it would be crazy of me to say that that's not the case and you shouldn't listen to all the advice ever. I wouldn't really have a channel if that were the case. I clung to things that I didn't like for years because other people told me that I should do them. So for example, I used to run a Facebook group for a little while. I never really interacted with it. I was really bored with it. No one ever posted it but me. And it was, despite people like signing up for it, no one got any value out of it because I was not in it. My heart was not in it. And so it didn't really go anywhere. I pretty much forgot that it was there because I just wasn't aligned with that type of content. So instead, I created a Discord because I enjoy doing Discord. I still want that community, but I want to do it in a different place that suits me better. And if you want to join the Discord, I do have it open to invites for anybody. So I'll leave a link to that below if you want to join the Discord. But like, that's just my better way to do things. And I tried talking about Pinterest for the longest time. And that is something that worked, but it didn't work for me. It worked for the algorithm. It worked for the people that I was bringing in, but it didn't work for me. I chased the numbers because that's what I thought I had to do to grow because Pinterest was doing really well for me. So I chased the numbers because that's what I thought that I had to do. But in the end of the day, it made me unhappy to do that. And I made a lot of videos over the year because vidIQ, my keyword research tool for YouTube, told me that I should make those videos. They said the videos would do well, so I created them. And as a result, writing the script was boring because I wasn't interested in the topic. Recording was awful because I didn't want to talk about the topic. And editing sucked as well because then I had to edit all the footage that I didn't want to do in the first place just to put a video out. And then when the video launched, it would flop. Or it wouldn't flop, but it wouldn't immediately do well. I wasn't getting that instant gratification from that video. So then that was just like salt in the wounds because I did this video that I didn't even want to do. And then it didn't do as well as vidIQ said that it would. However, it did in the end. The videos worked out. A lot of the videos that I didn't want to do ended up taking off just like vidIQ said that they would. But because I was so in it for the outcome, I was in it for the numbers. It was discouraging not to see those extremely quickly, even though I knew that that wasn't going to be the case. I just wasn't in it. Like my heart wasn't in those videos. So I didn't see that instant gratification. So therefore I was like, this video flopped. Why did I even do this? This was an awful idea. Versus now I do these podcast episodes with minimal editing, minimal script. I'm pretty much just rambling to the camera. The background is not the greatest. There's like no craziness going on. And yet I am seeing some of the best average view durations for videos that I have ever seen. And it's okay too for me if these videos don't do well ever. ever or do well right off the bat. If it takes a while for these videos to take off, or if they never take off, I am gonna be okay with that. And the difference is I am no longer outcome focused. I no longer care about how these videos do. I mean, I care, but like if they don't do well, that's fine because that doesn't mean anything about me. Whereas before I was like, these videos have to do well because I don't like doing them. So there's gotta be some sort of payout other than just sharing my truth, because now I'm just sharing my truth. I'm sharing my message. I'm helping people. And the comments are so much more meaningful to me as well, because I'm actually sharing something that I'm passionate about versus before when I was not. And that is the difference. That's how I was running my business wrong. I was chasing the numbers and trying to appease the masses as opposed to my core audience and myself. I didn't even care how I felt about the videos that I was putting out because I just needed to get the numbers. But one of the big things that I just dropped off my business was having an email list. And that is a massive weight off of my shoulders because I hated doing email lists because it was something that I always forgot about. I would always beat myself up for not doing, but I did it because everybody said the money is in the list. You have to have an email list. And that is just not something that works for my business. And so I finally got rid of it and decided to use Discord instead because that is something that's going to work better for me. And now I'm not worried about the outcome because before with the email list, I would send out an email and I would lose 3 subscribers. And that was really frustrating because it's like, I don't even want to be doing this. And when I do, I'm losing more subscribers. Well, I'm not losing more than I was gaining, but still, every time I sent out an email, it was like, why am I bothering? Because people are unsubscribing. Now, my Discord, I'm not attached to the outcome anymore. If people join the Discord, great. If they don't, great. It doesn't matter to me if people don't interact because I'm not attached to that outcome because it's something that I enjoy. And there's like so much that I've changed in my business. And if you guys want to know everything that I changed in my business and how I'm like running it differently now, like the actual like technical things that I've done, I'll do a whole different video on that if you guys want to see it. So let me know down below in the comments. But if I kept it all in one video, we'd be listening to an hour-long podcast. So I'm not going to do that. But there is one more thing that I want to add because this is important. And I'm sorry if my camera is shaking because Millie is walking around my desk. Miss Millie, you're kind of shaking everything. That's completely not the point of this podcast. But I want to add one more thing to this video because it is important. And one of the things that I used to do in my business was busy work. It's like things that make you feel like you're pushing your business forward and give you like the dopamine of like, ooh, I'm working on my business without actually really working on your business. So for example, things I used to do was tweak my about page, tweak my navigation bar, tweak my homepage, tweak my brand colors. I would kind of like go on my Instagram and change up my bio, or I would do small little things that felt like I was working without actually working. Millie, I would do things that felt like I was working without actually doing the hard stuff and working and moving my business along. Because while yes, that stuff is good to do, what I really needed to be working on was a new product, or what I really needed to be working on was a new blog post, a new YouTube video, promoting my business, coming up with other ways to make money, something. There were so many other things that I could have been doing other than tweaking my brand colors to be like one color code number off, as opposed to like coming up with a brand new service to make more money. And I get why I do that and why other people do that is simply because something that you are wanting to do, you either think you don't know what you want to do, or you know what you want to do, but it's so unbelievably overwhelming that you can't bring yourself to do it because there's too many steps. And I totally get the thought of being overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed really easily, and I know that about myself, so I have to really break things down. Otherwise, I will get overwhelmed and get into analysis paralysis and just sit around because I'm too nervous to do anything because I'm worried about screwing up. And that is some of those limiting self-conscious beliefs that we all have about ourselves. I mean, I'm assuming you do, but a lot of people do. They're very common. So that is some of the like limiting self-conscious beliefs that we have, that we're going to screw up. We need things to be perfect. We don't know what we're doing. You really do know what you're doing, but you don't trust yourself because like you know exactly what it is the next thing that you need to do. You're just too afraid to admit that to yourself, so you're self-sabotaging yourself and by procrastinating instead of trying to figure that thing out. And that's what I was doing. But the way to fix that, the right way to run your business, is to not procrastinate. It's to just figure something out. Like just figure it out. I know that you can do it. If you're in this situation, I know that you can figure out what next step that you need to take. You need to like look at yourself and look at your business and be like, what is the one next step that I need to take to get me towards my goal? Whether that goal is probably making more money or getting more blog views or getting more YouTube views, or putting your blog up to begin with. Because if you haven't even started your blog and you're listening to this, or your YouTube channel, what is the first thing that you need to do? No matter if it's difficult or not, what is the next step that you need to take? Because the only thing that you need to worry about is the next first step that you need to take. If you are starting a blog, you might need to come up with a name. You might need to figure out what hosting you want. You might need to come up with a theme. You don't need to figure out step 1 through 48 right this second. You just need to know what the next right step is and take that step, because otherwise you're going to be in paralysis. And this is why I started my new coaching services. If you are just starting a blog, I have a service for you that I just launched, which is called the Blog Kickstarter Coaching Program. And I also have another one called Shine with Sarah, which is a blog audit and a coaching session. So I have 2 different ones. One for if you are just starting a blog and you are lost and you don't know what to do and you have so many different ideas, but you don't know how to execute them, there is a service for you. Or if you have started your blog and you are trying to figure out how to make it grow and you're not sure what you're doing wrong and you want your blog to be audited and you want a coaching session with me to go through, here's what you should be doing differently on your blog, here's what you're doing correctly, and all those different things, I have a service called Shine with Sarah for you as well. I'll leave the links to both of those down below in the description, because sometimes the hardest thing to do is to just get started. Or if you are so emotionally and physically and mentally and financially invested in your business, sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees. You can't see what's wrong. And so you don't know where to go next. And so that's where coaching comes in, because I'm a bird's eye view. I'm like the outsider point of view. I can see like, okay, here's what I see from other people. Here's what I think is going to do better. And that's where it is good to start listening to the advice, right? Because this whole podcast episode is about stop listening to the advice and like how you're running your business wrong. So that's why I say like, it's okay to listen to some advice, because I just went through mindset coaching and her advice was fantastic. It was amazing. It literally completely transformed my entire business. The reason I'm even doing this podcast is because of the mindset coaching that I went through. And now I want to be able to do that for other people. So I'm going to be able to give you advice about your business and tell you like, here's what I think you should do. Get personalized advice. You can get all of your questions answered. So you don't have to be buying any more courses and trying to figure out how can I plug and play these other people's strategies into my own. We'll be able to give you personalized advice and a personalized strategy to exactly what it is that you need to do. And then if that stuff doesn't work for you 100%, if I tell you something and you're like, that doesn't really fit with what I want to do, then you don't have to do that thing, because there is no right or wrong way to run business. I might tell you something that here's how I run my business. Here's how I see other people run their business. And you're like, that doesn't really fit with what I'm doing. Okay, great. So now you know what doesn't work and you can try to find something else. So you'll be able to come out with actionable steps for what you need to do if you're in this like overwhelmed state. For example, this is something that I used to do. I would just get overwhelmed and I wouldn't move. And I'm really proud of the way that I launched my new service, which is what I was just telling you guys about, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know how to do. And I'm so grateful that I launched this when I had a coach, because she was able to walk me through week by week, give me some sort of deadline to like keep me on track for launching these services, and even just give me the confidence to do these services to begin with. I didn't know how to set up Calendly, or I didn't know how to allow people to buy with their credit cards. But what I did know was how to do a sales page. So I did the sales page first. We went through that. That was good. Okay, sales page is done. Next, I need to figure out how can I get Calendly to work. So I Googled it, figured it out. Turns out it was really easy. Got Calendly to work. Check, that's done. Next up, how do I get people to buy from PayPal and a credit card? I don't know how to do that. Google it, figure it out. Again, not hard at all. Boom, checklist, done, move on. Like I did things step by step, slowly, paced myself, because all of the steps were scary, but one by one, they were not scary and they turned out to be super easy. And so that's some of the things that we can go through in the coaching session to begin with and help you figure out how to run your business in a more efficient way that is tailored perfectly to you. I'm really excited about these. Like I said, I'll leave links down below, but that was a little bit of a tangent. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Once you start doing things in your business the right way for you, that is when you are going to start to see the growth. I just told you all the wrong things that I did. Here's how you can do things differently. Your heart needs to be in this if you are going to get anywhere very far. I hit blocks in my business when Pinterest was involved. No, my Pinterest videos were involved because I wasn't in it. My heart was not in it. When I launched a Pinterest course, I don't know if you guys have been around long enough or even knew about it, but I launched a Pinterest course. I took months to do it, And I launched it and I made one sale on launch day. And that was super discouraging. My Pinterest videos did really well. I was not expecting one sale on launch day. But because I was in it for the outcome, because I was in it for hoping to make sales and hoping to make money off of it. I mean, I did it, of course, to help people too, right? But like my heart wasn't in Pinterest. So my main goal was to make money with it. And I didn't see the results right away. I also didn't promote it because my heart wasn't in it. And so I eventually took it down. I think over the 3 or 4 months, I only made 3 or 4 sales from it. And otherwise that would have been great. But I didn't realize until I was done with it that I didn't promote it very much because I told people that I had taken it down. And some people were like, I didn't know you had it up in the first place. And I'm thinking, well, I put it everywhere. How did you guys not know? But of course, people don't know because they don't watch every single video. They don't watch all the way through. They might skip through or miss a video or not see my tweet or whatever. But because my heart wasn't in it, I didn't promote it enough or promote it the right way because I didn't really care that much about it. Versus now with my services, I'm just going to keep mentioning them. They're going to stay up. I'm really excited about them. If people buy them, great. If people don't buy them, great. If people are thinking about buying them now, but they can't afford them and they want to do it in the future, great. I've again let go of that outcome. If it takes me a couple months to get a few clients, then that's what it takes. It's slow going. That's how this business is. But the difference is between the Pinterest and now was I wasn't aligned with the Pinterest stuff. So it mattered more to me what the outcome was versus now the outcome doesn't matter as much because I am actually passionate about what I'm talking about. So now I'm running my business the right way because I'm actually doing things that I'm passionate about versus not. Go figure, right? Mind-blowing revelation here. Now, again, I want to say, I'm not saying you should stop listening to advice online and never watch a video ever again. But my point here is listen to the advice. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Whatever doesn't work for you, then you don't have to do that thing. And I'm also not saying don't try a bunch of things. If I recommend, hey, you should use WordPress, and you try it and you go, oh, I didn't like that. Don't force yourself to use WordPress then because I told you you should use WordPress because I enjoy WordPress. Go over to Wix, go over to Squarespace, go over to Blogger, start a YouTube channel. You can do whatever it is you want to do. You know, like you can take advice from other people, try it out and like give it a good, honest try. And then you might say, that didn't work for me. So then it doesn't work for you. And you move on and you find something else that does work. You know, like take what resonates, leave the rest. And another thing I'm saying is at some point in your business, you have to learn to trust yourself to be able to make the best decisions for your business. I used to buy so many different courses on Pinterest because it wasn't really working for me. So I was buying courses on Pinterest to try and make it work. I was buying SEO courses to try and make it work. So wasting a lot of money that I didn't need to waste to try a bunch of things that just wasn't working, as opposed to saying, okay, that didn't work. What is the next thing that I can try? Because there is more than one way to run a business. You know that you're going to start to trust yourself to run your business when you start to take a step back from those videos. I personally don't watch many advice videos. I might occasionally watch a video on YouTube if it's like, here's the new update coming out. Here's what you need to know about it or whatever. Like I'm still in the trenches learning like, how do I be better at this or whatever, but I'm also taking it with a grain of salt. Like, okay, it's like, oh, okay, that works. Let me try it maybe, or I might incorporate that editing style into my videos or whatever, but then I'm taking a step back from it. When you are happy with what you've learned, that is when it's time to pull back from that content and start to trust yourself to run your business the way that it needs to be run. And it's definitely good to watch these videos when you first start out and you get the advice and you don't really know how to run a business or get coaching like I have or do courses or whatever, so that you can figure out what it even is the heck that you need to do. But once you get to a good point, then it might be time to step back. I know a lot of creators have done this. They step back from that type of content and they let themselves go. Like they trust themselves to do whatever it is they need to do. And then that's when their business starts to grow. It's really kind of funny how that works, but you just need to figure out a balance. So basically, bottom line is listen to the advice up to a certain point and then take everything that you learned, figure out what you like to do, let go of the rest. Don't waste a bunch of money like I did on a bunch of services that you don't need because they don't work for you, because there's more than one way to run a business. And now what I'm doing instead is I'm not caring as much about the outcome as well. So I hope that was helpful. And if it was, and you want some coaching from me, check out either the 2 blog packages that I have down below, or if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.